Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Today is one of those days where I feel cranky and pissed off and like I want to just take heads. Why? Because my child wakes up at like 5 something in the morning. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why a child who's 13 will wake up at 5 something in the morning. Except that he's not at school and he's not out playing with his friends and running and having extraordinary exhaustion. So, because he's in the house most of the day, when the next morning rolls around at 5, he's up. So, happy Wednesday. Today is the day. It's not Wednesday, it's Thursday. I'm not even going to stop this video and do it over. Happy Thursday. And Jupiter is retrograde in Capricorn. Today is a Jupiter day. I love Jupiter. Thank you. Now my crankiness is kind of going to start to go away because I'm remembering that this is a good day. So Jupiter is the day that governs our faith, our truth. Like, can you live your truth? Can you what is your truth? It's not even just about living your truth. It's about really knowing your truth. I remember a few years ago, Jupiter was in Sagittarius, and I have Sag in the 9th house, and I was really aware when Jupiter moved into Sagittarius that I was going to need to face my own truth and live my life in the way that was really real for me. That I was going to have to stop conforming to make people feel safe and better. It's interesting. For the most part, like, I am someone who considers myself like an open relator or polyamorous or something like that. And that just means for me personally, it means that I need a lot of interaction from various people in order to feel alive and connected and fulfilled. And at the time, I was still trying to see how I could fit in to being monogamous in my mind, because what I would experience is that when you start to date someone, it was not okay to still have friends that you had dated before. Like, there's this sort of unspoken rule that when you're in a relationship, you let go of all your male friends that you had already been in a relationship with. And I really value the men in my life. And whether I'm romantic with them or not, I still like to be connected with them, unless there was some sort of offense done, which that's just not who I am. I don't roll that way. So people that I'm connected with, I don't throw people away. And I realized when Jupiter was in Sag that I was going to need to really be in my truth about who I am and stop shrinking back and pretending like I can release people, or like I don't have other male friends, or like other men are not important to me, because I tend to have these deeply intimate relationships that are not necessarily sexual. They might be sometimes, but they generally are not. But the connections are really significant to me. I value men in my life. I value their wisdom. I value their perspectives. I value their ways of being in the world. I value that they are different. And that's just my truth. And so Jupiter is this energy that says, what is your truth? And if you have the courage to live it, if you have the courage to stand for it, then Jupiter will meet you where you are, and you can have what it is you say you believe. But you have to live it. You cannot be in the shadows with it. Many of us, and it's not unusual, that we'll do things, like here I am 50 years old. I have friends in my life who are 50, and we still are concerned about what our parents think about us. And that's not, there's nothing wrong with that. it's just not right for me. And so one of the gifts of not being parented is that I get to live my life on my own terms. I'm a free woman. And if I can generate my life, then I can live and be who I desire to be. And I think that's so valuable for women, to live our lives as we absolutely want to, and to not make apologies, and then attract a partner from that place. Attract a partner from you being bold and unapologetic and true to yourself and committed and devoted to your own unique way of being, the way that men do. Men get to do that all the time. I feel like that's the thing that the culture sort of gives men, but it doesn't offer to women. And so with Jupiter and Capricorn are structures. Like, what are the ways you do create structures about your truth and who you are? For me, one of the other things for me is that I remember when I left Christianity, I was like, Christianity doesn't work. It doesn't freaking work. Like, I do the rituals, I pray, I believe all these things I'm told to believe, and I don't get the results that are promised. Yes, I'm celibate, and I still am suffering around these things. Like, Christianity just wasn't deep enough for me. It didn't give me the tools. So I had to have the courage to say, I'm not doing this. It doesn't work. It's not true. If there's this idea that if you don't believe in Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, then you're going to go to hell. That's not true. It's absolutely not the truth. Once I started studying the science of religion and philosophy and spiritual practices, I started to realize that Christianity really just absorbs the energy of Black people, because it asks us to cast our beliefs to someone else and project our energy out. And that does not work. You cannot have your power and create the life you deeply desire if you have cast your energy out. And when I started studying, I realized that philosophy was given to us so that, as slaves, so that our energy would be harnessed by the slave master and not by ourselves. So Christianity is another thing that I had to walk away from because it didn't work, and I had to have the courage to do it. But Jupiter, my point is that Jupiter in Capricorn is asking you what you believe about yourself and what structures do you put in place to help you live out your truth or your faith. Up till now in this country, the structures that we have had in place have been the laws, the systems, the school district, how we do health, just sort of our relationship to the systems. And what we're seeing is that they don't work. That's why they're buckling. That's why they're coming undone. They've never worked. And there is a system that works for everyone. Nature. You can totally have faith in nature. You can have faith that the sun is going to set. You can have faith that the moon is going to be full once a month. You can have faith that the moon is going to be new once a month. You can do that. And why? Because it's consistent. It proves itself. It doesn't change. The systems here in this country only work for the few and not for the total. So if it doesn't work for everyone, then it doesn't work. It cannot work for some, and it works for some and not for others. Any system that it has to be a flawless system. Like, the cycles are flawless. They work all the time. When you follow the light of the cycles, it works. So that is Jupiter. It's the faith that you are living in. What are you putting your faith in? What do you count on? What's unchangeable? And if you can put your faith in it, then it will lead you to a greater aspect and experience of yourself. It will expand your life. And that is Jupiter. It's about expansion, faith, truth, and you having the courage to be who you really are here to be. Because here's the thing about Jupiter. Jupiter is the communication with the divine. It is your intuition. So whatever it is, so when I'm like, oh, I'm not a monogamous woman, that's because God made me that way. God made me a woman who is not someone who was going to find all of her goodness and life in one other person, navel picking and breathing the oxygen of another person. That doesn't work for me. It works for others. It doesn't work for me. But Jupiter is the king, the God in your life. So whatever whatever truth is yours, it's because it was God given to you. So, if we're in a culture that says, a woman who has other partners is a slut or a whore or, somehow not virtuous, that's against the truth that God has given to you, then it's not your truth. It's not your truth. And so we have to test things and understand why we live them. So the moon is in Taurus today, and that is the Taurus energy is about how you feel, your senses, your value. And, the question is, can you find value in who you are, even if it's unlike everyone else? Can you love yourself enough so much that you don't need other people's approval and that it doesn't matter what other people think of you, that you actually kind of get off on being free? The sun moved into Gemini yesterday on the Mercury day. Just as I ended the video yesterday, the sun moved into Gemini. So pay attention to how you feel. This energy is very, it runs the nervous system. So you might, I know that I'm edgy and kind of cranky. Because it's an expansive energy, the mind gets really busy. So that is that. I'm going to be doing the planting moon meditation tonight. So if you'd like to come and join, you can either send me a message. I can give you the link. It's at 6 p.m. Or you can sign up for my newsletter here. And my newsletter I'll send out an email today later on with the link for the planting moon meditation. So with that, I love you all. I'm the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful day today. And I hope that peace comes for me. It is. I'm actually working it out. I'm creating the new class, the new Venus retrograde class. It's going to be about money. So I'll have that link ready shortly. It'll be next week. All right. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.